All right, let's go for question A5. Let's read the directions and behavior. Sketch the graph of f of x and describe the end behavior of each graph. What is end behavior? End behavior is this sentence frame. End behavior. So anytime you see this word, end behavior, you're going to write this sentence over here to the right. Oops. This one right here. Okay? So I have A5 and it says negative x to the 5th power. So the question is, how do you graph this? Well, first thing I'm going to do is figure out this one. Is this an odd or an even? This is an odd degree. Why? Because 5 is an odd number. What is the easiest odd that we know? Well, that is x to the 1st. Let's just graph x to the 1st. It would look like this. Okay? Now, what does this negative sign do? This negative sign, it flips it over the y-axis. Okay? So instead of the arrows being in quadrants one and 3, it's now going to be flipped to 2 and 4. Okay? This arrow here went over there, and this arrow goes that way. Okay? So the blue, we're going to have something that looks like this. Okay? You can just make a quick sketch. It's going to go through the origin. How do I know that? You can make a table of values. Say if you're in 0, negative, you're going to do exponents first, so 0 to the 5th power is 0, and opposite of 0 is still 0. That's why it's still going through the origin. If you did something like 1, 1 to the 5th power is just 1, and opposite of 1 is negative 1. If you went, let's do a different color. If you do 2, negative, remember it's not negative 2, it's 2 to the 5th power, which gives you 4, 8, 16, 32, and opposite of 32 is negative 32. So you'll have 2 and some really number way down here. Okay, let's use this. So the big idea is that it's going these blue arrows. The arrows are what helps us understand the end behavior. Okay, so now we have a visual. Now if you get stuck on that, you can just use a graphing app. I have Desmos, and I'm going to type in subtraction x, and then you can press a to the b power to the 5. Okay, and there you see our graph matches. Okay, so what does this end behavior sentence work? As x, so this is the x-axis, as we go towards positive infinity, so this would be on the x-axis, negative numbers, positive numbers, negative numbers, and positive numbers. But we're only referring to, let's see if we can make this clear, this sentence here, let's try to make that bigger, this sentence here only refers to just that axis right there. So as we go from left to right, what's happening to my graph? Well, I can draw these lines. So as I'm going towards this direction, what happens to that arrow? The arrow is going down. So it says f of x, or the y values, are going down. So we're going to write negative infinity as my answer. Okay? All right. So we can use these. Orange. As x approaches negative infinity, Okay, so now we're going from right to left. We're going from this direction to this direction. We're just going to notice what's happening to our graph. So we go in this direction, and we'll see that the graph finishes what? Up. So let's write that. We finish up, which is positive infinity. So there, filling out that blank there is essentially your end behavior.